Hello and welcome to Life with Lisa. I am Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing and co-creator of Whole Being Healing. And formerly I had a show that I called, a podcast that I called Lunch with Lisa. And I've been on hiatus from that for a while, and I kind of miss doing it now. And so I decided to bring that back, but in a different iteration. So we're moving from Lunch with Lisa to Life with Lisa, because we are here to live. We're not here to survive. We are life itself. This world is brimming with life. Yet we've been taught that we have to survive, that we have to work hard, that life is about survival of the fittest, and that we have to work to earn a living. And we're slowly depleting ourselves of our own living life force energy. Nature is being depleted. Our waters are being depleted. Our skies are being depleted. Our living life force energy is being depleted. And we're not living vibrant, radiant, enthusiastic, healthy lives for the most part. Some of us are, but the vast majority are not. So I decided to create Life with Lisa, to inspire us, to help all of us, myself included, to remember what life is all about and how we can start truly living again. Because surviving is not cutting it. It is not fulfilling. It is not soul enhancing. When we come here as souls into a physical form, we are born into a structure that was created many, many, many years ago. None of us remember life before the structure was created. The structure that was not created by our creator, God, source, divine intelligence, whatever word you'd like to put on it. There is a structure for how life thrives. And that structure involves living in peace and harmony, loving life, respecting all life. And as grand beings of light, as the souls that we are, we're born to be light and free and filled with love and joy and fun and creativity and enthusiasm. Those things are a natural state when we are living in alignment with divine law, universal law, the laws that dictate how molecules are put together. Divine molecular law, algorithmic molecular law, is the laws of the universe that determine how circumstances show up in our lives, how our bodies show up for us in our lives, how all of the molecular structure of the physical universe is formed. And you and I, we are creators. We are each forming the reality around us. Our realities are formed by our beliefs, by our thoughts, by our attention, by our focus. The world that forms itself around us is literally the outpicturing of the world that is formed inside us by our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our beliefs, our attention. So what goes on inside us is what we experience outside us in our life. We have been taught to be victims of life, that we need to just follow the rules, do what we're told, everything will be fine. But it's really not so fine if we're suffering. It's not so fine if we are finding ourselves in lack, in limitation, getting punished, having a disease, living in bodies that don't feel good. That's not how it's meant to be. God, source, divine, creator, created a structure that would allow us to live and thrive and be joyful and abundant. But a long, long time ago, a different structure was created over the top of the divine structure. A structure that was created not from light, but from darkness, from misunderstanding, or even full understanding and ill intention. Don't know, doesn't matter, really. But the structure that was created over God's divine structure, the structure that our Creator created, was a structure of control, a structure of false authority figures, a structure of people, men and women, living beings, who decided to take positions of authority. They just took them. They just assumed positions of authority where there was none. And we have been living under those structures of authority ever since. They used force, they used coercion, they used mind control. Thousands of years ago, all of this happened. Well, for what we know. History is a little sketchy at this point in human history, if you've been paying attention at all to notice what's actually happening. So none of us can attest to what happened thousands of years ago from our current physical characters. So the timeline doesn't really matter when it started, but the fact that it's continuing now and that this false authoritarian structure was created over the top of God's divine structure, and that this false authoritarian structure is making us suffer. We have choice. We get to choose which structure we live by. If you choose to live in alignment with the divine structure, the structure that we can see in nature when we go out into nature, when we see the things in life that were created by God, source, creator, divine intelligence, whatever word you'd like to put on it. We go out and we see this ecosystem of life. Look at all of the incredible life forms on this planet. from worms to insects to birds, bees, trees. Look at the bazillion species of trees that are on this planet. Every single species of tree playing a different role, playing a specific purpose. Every living life form on this planet plays a specific role, fulfills a specific purpose. The fish in the seas, the birds in the air, horses, dolphins, sharks, elephants, giraffes, chipmunks, humans. We all serve a purpose. We are all different forms of life. No life form better than another life form. Yet, with the false control structure that was created, humans have been taught to ignore life forms, to think of other life forms as commodities or curiosities to be put in zoos or aquariums. We have been taught that it's perfectly fine to capture fish from the sea and put them into a confined space for the public's viewing pleasure. We have been taught that it's perfectly fine to take animals from the wild and cage them in zoos. Did anybody ask their permission? These are all life forms, deserve to be honored and respected. But as humans, we have forgotten to respect life. We look at trees as commodities. Things, oh, we can just cut those all down. We can just use them for timber. We can use them for toilet paper. We can use them for building houses, right? And this isn't all bad. But when it goes unchecked, when we're clear cutting vast tracts of forest without any regard for the life that lives there, for the life that is those trees, for the habitat that those trees are preserving and protecting, we are the ones that ultimately suffer. Because what we do to others gets done to us. So as we're causing suffering on the planet, we ourselves are suffering. We ourselves have diseases, poverty, punishments for going too fast, parking in the wrong space, whatever it is. The legal system is for punishment. Let's take a look. Let's just take a step back. Let's look at nature and let's remember what happens in a pure, pristine ecosystem. Every single living thing adds to the ecosystem. Every single living organism contributes to the ecosystem, causing the ecosystem to thrive. Nature doesn't destroy itself. In the wild, animals actually help each other. Yes, sometimes there's the predation. Sometimes animals do eat other animals. That is true. But they don't do it for mass. They don't just do it out of, a joy of killing. They're doing it for existence. And what that does is it helps keep nature in balance. It keeps everybody fed. It keeps herds from multiplying too large. There is always balance in nature. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So, because we have been taught that life is hard, that we have to work to earn a living rather than just simply living, we're doing things that cause a reaction that we don't like. When we participate in the things that we don't like, we keep getting more and more and more of the things that we don't like. When I found myself facing cancer many years ago, it was kind of the, you might call it the come to Jesus moment, for lack of a better term, off the top of my head. It was the wake up moment where suddenly I realized, oh my gosh, I've been spiraling down and down and down and down. My living life force energy was being depleted. I was living in the dark night of the soul. And as soon as I realized I was facing cancer, I realized that's not what I want. That doesn't belong in my reality. How do I get rid of it? How do I get it out of my reality? I didn't even really think about how do I get it out of my body. That wasn't the thought. It was how do I get this out of my reality altogether so that it never comes back? Because this is a really unpleasant experience. And I realized at the time when I started thinking, all right, what am I going to do about this? First, I realized, well, I'm the creator of my reality. This is clearly a miscreation. I didn't mean to create this, because why would I ever create that for myself intentionally? I didn't, but I created it unintentionally. I created it through my unconsciousness. I created it from allowing the dark night of the soul to continue. I was allowing myself to continually live in fear, doubt, lack, self-devaluation. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. Why isn't my life working? I hate that this is so difficult. I hate paying taxes. I hate doing all of this other stuff. And I was fully immersed in all of the stuff that I didn't like. And I was getting more and more and more of the stuff that I didn't like. And after growing up, being a healthy, fit athlete for as long as I was, suddenly to realize that I had allowed my body to deteriorate so far that I was now in a predicament. There was resentment, there was self-judgment, there was guilt, there was shame. All of these things were percolating inside. And I knew that those things were the things that were contributing to the cancer. The cancer didn't just appear out of nowhere. It didn't fall out of the sky into my body. It didn't suddenly spring forth from inside where it had been hiding for all my life, just waiting for the time to jump out and get me. That's the monster in the closet scenario. I suddenly realized that my body was responding to my emotional input. My inner world was forming my physical reality. And so I knew that it was my inner world that I had to change. And I realized, this is really key, if you're facing a physical issue, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. If you are facing some diagnosis or some physical issue that you do not like, you have to stop participating in it. You cannot fight cancer and not have cancer simultaneously. It's not a thing. If you don't want the disease you've been gifted from your physician, you really don't need to accept the gift. But I realized when I found myself facing cancer that if I went the medical route, I would simply be participating in the very thing that I didn't want. Cancer, all of the elements of that story, doctors, pharmaceuticals, chemotherapy, radiation, radical surgery, doctor's visits, insurance claims, time, hours and hours spent in doctor's office, hospitals, waiting rooms, testing, lab testing. All of those are elements of cancer or disease. So I very quickly realized that I couldn't go that route because I would be participating in the very thing that I did not want. If I wanted to get cancer out of my reality altogether, I could not walk the path of cancer and battling the thing that I didn't want, because what you battle battles you back. Healing isn't about pills and doctors and treatments and all of that stuff. It's about getting your inner world back into alignment so that your outer world comes back into alignment. When we have been participating in the false structure that's been created on this planet, some call it the paper fiction kingdom. When we're born, we're given a birth certificate, a piece of paper. And then we're taught to identify with the piece of paper. And then everything we do requires a piece of paper. It requires a registration. It requires a license. It requires a diploma. It requires pieces of paper, money, pieces of paper. The paper fiction kingdom has been constructed over the original divine design of ease and grace and plenty and thriving and being given everything we need to survive and thrive for free from nature. That's the original design. But now nothing seems to be free on this planet. We have to pay for, purchase the stuff that nature gives for free. Water, air, vegetables, fruits, nuts, berries, mushrooms, things that are given freely from nature. So this podcast is about helping us to shift our consciousness, helping us to wake up from the false matrix kingdom and start returning to the original divine design so that we can start to thrive on this planet. We all want the same things. We all want to thrive. We want to feel good. We want to feel cared for. We want to feel supported. We want to feel like we make a difference, like there's meaning and purpose to our lives. We want to be able to play. We want to be free to do the things that we love. And in order for us to do that, we have to shift our focus. We have to start focusing on the things that we desire and stop focusing on the crap that we've been taught to focus on. The fear, the doubt, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the catastrophe, the destruction, the oh my God, the doom and gloom. We cannot focus on the oh my God, doom and gloom and thrive. It doesn't happen. The laws of the universe don't allow that. Because what we focus on is what is made manifest. We are each generating our own reality. Nothing exists outside of your consciousness. You can't perceive anything that is outside of your consciousness. And when you start to realize the power of the I am, you start to realize that it is you that is shaping your reality. The reality that you perceive around you is coming from you. If you are in alignment with thoughts, beliefs, ideas, emotions of, I'm not okay, the world's a scary place, oh no, everything's bad, oh no, I'm a victim, oh no. That's what you will experience. 100% guaranteed. But you don't have to experience that. You have the ability to experience far, far greater things, far more joyful things, things that feel amazing, bodies that feel amazing. No matter what your body feels like right now, you have the ability to change it. You have the ability to be any version of you that you desire to be. And you are the only one who can choose that. You are powerful beyond belief. Get rid of all of your beliefs, because all of your beliefs are things that have been taught to you or that you have observed from the reality around you. They're not your beliefs. As the grand being of light, you are directly connected to the divine mind. You don't need beliefs. You have knowing. You don't need permission. You have authority. You are the creator in physical form. You are a unique aspect of Mother, Father, God, Source, Universe, Creator, life itself. You are a life form. All that is on this planet, every living being, whether it's a tree, a flower, a bird, a bee, a fish, the sea. Yes, water is alive. All different aspects of life. You are life expressing itself in the form of you. And if you are life itself, it means there is no death. Death is the illusion. There is only transformation. And you get to shapeshift. You get to transform in this physical body of yours. And as you transform in your physical body, guess what? Your physical body transforms itself to match you. Right now, your body is a direct reflection of your consciousness. It's a direct reflection of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs, your fears, your doubts, your worries. There's so much more to life than what we've been taught. Are you ready to live better, more freely, more joyfully, feeling great every day? That's what I'm doing. And I invite you to join me on this journey, because it is a journey from I'm not okay to, oh my gosh, life is amazing. It doesn't necessarily happen I dream of Jeannie style. It's not just a blink and you shift, even though we have that ability. We have to clear out all of the false matrix programming that has trapped our consciousness in the darkness, in the misperceptions, in the ill intentions, creating us to be ill at ease, lacking in health, lacking in our dreams. We're meant to be able to manifest our dreams easily, joyfully, effortlessly. So this series of Life with Lisa is designed to bring our consciousness back to life, to wake us up from that slumber where we've not been paying attention, where we've been unconsciously feeding the very things that we don't enjoy, the very things that are draining us of our living life force energy, so that together we can thrive, that together we can clean up this planet. We can bring the earth back into alignment with the original divine design, the Garden of Eden design that we all have heard about as a fairy tale, as fables, as the beginning of the Bible. In the beginning, there was the Garden of Eden. Then it all went to, all went south. Right? But it never went south. It's all still right here. Go out in nature and you will see that it has never gone away. The only thing that's gone away is our consciousness. Our minds have been programmed by the darkness. Our minds have been programmed to overlook everything that is pure and divine and empowering. And we've been trained to give away our power, to not recognize that we ourselves are the creators of our own reality. So if this message has been inspiring in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up. subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's work together. Comment below. Let me know how this is landing. And let me know what you would like me to talk about. Where are you struggling? Let's see if we can help you get over those struggles. Because when we all come together, nothing can stop us from embodying heaven on earth and making that the collective reality. So I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, and I'm the co-creator of Whole Being Healing, where we help you shift your consciousness out of the fear, back into the love that you are. You start activating your ability to self-heal without the doctors, without the pills, without the shots, without the tests, without all the stuff. Because you have that power. And we help align you with your soul's purpose, your reason for being here. Help you remember who you are and the power you have. If that sounds appealing in any way, shape, or form, go to wholebeinghealing.life and check it out. We would love to have you walk this journey with us if it aligns. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to bringing you more episodes of Life with Lisa. Thanks so much for watching today. I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye for now.